Welcome to Rob and Tony's Cinematic Adventure. I'm Rob Wilson.
And I am Tony the Quano.
So, Tony, we have come to the last of our previous Oscar winners for this Oscar series. We still do have one more Oscar movie in our Oscar series, but that's not going to come for a couple more weeks. We got to wait. We got to wait for this year's winner to come out. So, let's talk about a previous Best Actor.
Best Actor, the last of our acting categories.
Yes. The Best Actor winner from the 2010 Oscars for the 2009 movie, Jeff Bridges, who we talked about last week.
We did talk about him last week.
But he was not the subject of our episode last week. Our subject last week was Mercedes Ruehl for The Fisher King. But our co-leads were Jeff Bridges and Robin Williams for that. So we talked about them a lot in that movie.
We did, yeah. I mean, it'd be hard to not to.
Yeah. But yes, our subject for last week's episode was Mercedes Ruehl. But this one, our subject is actually Jeff Bridges as the Best Actor winner for the movie Crazy Heart.
Yes, for the movie Crazy Heart. This was his fifth Oscar nomination and his first win and so far only win, right? And
he should have won for Big Lebowski.
He should have won for Big Lebowski. That's correct.
He should have won for Tron.
John Goodman both should have won for Big Lebowski.
Yes, they both
Jeff
should have
Bridges
won.
for Best Actor in a leading role, and John Goodman for Best Actor in a supporting role.
Yes.
But they did not, alas.
Unless they wanted to do like co-leads and just give them both the lead actor and then give Sam Elliott the supporting.
Well, yes. And they could have done that too. And he would have had less screen time than Jack Palance.
Yes.
But still play the cowboy.
Yep.
There's also cowboys in this movie.
Yes, there are. There are cowboys in this movie.
There's cowboys in the Oscar movie we did last year, No Country for Old Men.
Mm-hmm.
This movie has cowboy hats.
Mm-hmm.
Some Stetsons, just like that.
Yes. This movie does have some great hats.
It does. It also has great music, which we'll get to in a minute.
Yes, it does have some great music.
But yeah, I mean, it's funny, like when this came out, like, obviously by this point, the Big Lebowski had cemented itself as like a cult hit, not just a cult hit, but like cemented itself within pop culture, right? And Jeff Bridges had kind of ridden that wave, and it had some good roles between that and this. But and all of a sudden, this movie came up, and it was not even a movie that was even supposed to be originally slated to be an Oscar contender. CMT, Country Music Television, helped produce this movie, and they thought it was going to be direct to video, and then people saw it and they realized like Jeff Bridges is really, really good in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And so Fox Searchlight helped pick it up. They bought it from Paramount's independent label, and they released it late in the year. And it wasn't even 6 months, like summer of 2009, right? It wasn't even really on a lot of radars as a potential prestige picture, so to speak, right? Or Oscar bait picture. But then it got picked up, and because Jeff Bridges, he's great in this movie.
Yes, he is.
It got released, and it gained traction as like he's due for an Oscar, and he won.
Yeah.
Like, is it his greatest performance? Maybe not, but he's really, really good in this movie.
It's always great when a more independent movie, gets the recognition of, being nominated for an Oscar.
It does, especially for the such a high level of these awards. It's funny because like we say it's independent, but at the time, like, yeah, I mean, it has Jeff Bridges in it.
Yes.
It has Robert Duvall. It has Robert Duvall.
Yes, it has Robert Duvall.
Maggie Gyllenhaal, right? It had notable names, but the director Scott Cooper, like, he's more known now. It was his first movie. He was a nobody, right? And it has very much that feel of an independent produced movie. You could tell that the budget on this movie was not big.
No.
Despite having some very well-known actors.
Yeah, I mean, that's where most of the budget went, I'm sure, was to pay the actors, was to pay these big name actors that are in it.
Yes, exactly. And, I wouldn't be surprised someone like a Robert Duvall, who is really in the back end of this movie and has like 3 smallish scenes, and he's
excellent in those
He's
scenes.
Robert Duvall.
Yes.
he's going to be excellent with anything you give him, even if it's really not that consequential of a role.
Yes.
He's going to take it seriously and make it a really, really good performance.
Yes. Rest in peace, Robert Duvall.
And I'm going to say, rest in peace, Robert Duvall. This movie was not selected because of his recent death.
No.
We will cover that very soon.
We will be doing a Robert Duvall tribute episode soon.
And we considered putting Tender Mercies, his Oscar-winning role, into this slot. And this movie is very similar to Tender Mercies, for which he won his Oscar. But we decided to hold off on that.
And do a tribute episode that's not doubling as an Oscar episode.
Yes, exactly. So I think that works well. And this movie is, also very much closely related, kind of like a cousin of the first movie we did in this series, Walk the Line. This is not a biopic like that, but it involves, it's a fictional story of a faded country star.
Yes. And it shares a composer.
It does.
With T-Bone Burnett.
And this movie's not even really about it's not really even about his return to glory at all, or even return to prominence for that matter, to be honest.
No, really. It's just about him. Just about him
kind of coming to terms with where he is in his
sort of a washed up musician.
But realizing he still has great talent and still has much to offer, right?
Yeah.
So we chose it for, obviously Jeff Bridges, and he won his Oscar, and it's funny, like the following year he plays almost a similar type character in the True Grit remake from the Coen Brothers, which he's also fantastic in.
Yes.
And then he also get another Oscar nomination a few years later for another movie I wouldn't mind doing one day on the air, is Hell or High Water, which is another movie he's in that is a independent-ish movie that's also really good. But one of the movies I was thinking about that we've done that the stories are very different. But a few years ago we did Coda. Another independent movie.
Yep.
Right. And
that
one obviously didn't have quite nearly the star power of this, right? Marlee Matlin, right, was the most prominent name within that cast, right? And she's not quite on the level of a Maggie Gyllenhaal, a Robert Duvall, a Colin Farrell, right? A Jeff Bridges. But, it makes the use of its setting to really help sell the story.
Yeah.
Right. And this movie does that also.
Yep. It does.
And the music. Because, that movie's about a musician. This movie's about a musician also. Right. At different parts of their journey, so to speak, obviously. And that's the other thing, as he mentioned, like the music in this movie is fantastic.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And Jeff Bridges and Colin Farrell both did their own singing in this movie.
They did, which I really appreciate.
Yes, me too.
It'd be easy for them not to do it because Ryan Bingham was involved with this with T-Bone Burnett. And Ryan Bingham appears in this movie in a small role.
Yeah.
And he could have easily done just the singing himself because he's a competent musician like that. He's more trained than Colin Farrell or Jeff Bridges.
Yeah, but they both trained with him.
The two, yes.
Yeah, they both trained with him in order to sing in this movie. But I think it's very appropriate that it's their own voices. Yeah. Just like Walk the Line, it was Joaquin Phoenix and Reese Witherspoon doing the singing.
Precisely. It gives an authenticity to the story.
Yes.
Which I think is important because like the story itself, right? It's not a groundbreaking type of storyline, right?
No.
Washed up musician, washed up whatever it might be. And there was another movie around the same time, the year before this, The Wrestler, right? With Mickey Rourke.
Yep.
Similar type of thing. Washed up, an alcoholic, estranged, right?
Mm-hmm.
Starts this relationship with someone else, and um, and you can put that in a variety of things. It's nothing groundbreaking about it. And the movie itself is based off a novel that was over 20 years old at the point, right? From the late 80s.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how well known that novel really is. I've never heard of the novel Crazy Heart. And they changed some things within it to make it work.
Which, I mean, that's normal for an adaptation.
Exactly. But the movie really needs to be sold. It's the music. The music has to be good in the movie.
Yeah.
If it's a musician.
If it's a movie about a musician, the music has to be good.
And the music is fantastic. There's so many scenes where like it's just kind of going between scenes and shots.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just getting pictures of the landscape.
Yeah.
And the music's going over. And it's great music. And it's these beautiful shots of the landscape. And like this, because the cinematography is really good in this also.
Yes, it is.
And it allows you to just go taken into the world that this story is taking place.
Yeah. I mean,
which is the American Southwest.
Yeah. This movie mostly takes place in Arizona and Texas.
Yeah, well, New Mexico also.
Yeah,
New
Mexico.
Santa Fe and
yes, that's right.
Like the first half of the movie is mostly Arizona, New Mexico, and then it kind of for a little bit goes to Texas, specifically Houston, right? So you get the Southwest, then you kind of get more of the South with Houston, and then you kind of go back to the Southwest.
Yeah. So New Mexico more than Arizona.
Yeah, because it starts in New Mexico. Oh, and there's a few scenes in Colorado, but again, it's kind of that Southwest, Old West type of feel.
Yeah.
Because the first few places he plays is Colorado, which he mentions in Pueblo. But we'll get to that. But you have to get that sense of this world of where he's traveling, and these towns where he is, in these small bars,
and
how he's just this guy that's not traveling in these huge tour buses, but in his Suburban.
Yeah. And
his 1981 Suburban.
And we mentioned that, a movie that's about a musician, the music has to be great. But in order for it to be a good movie, it's got to be more than just good music.
Exactly.
Right. A lot of like musical biopics. We talked about Walk the Line a few weeks ago.
We did.
And that is a phenomenal one, in my opinion.
It is. I agree.
I'm not a fan of most musical biopics because most of them seem to focus more on the music than the story.
Yes,
that's correct. The music may be great in them, but there's not a whole lot of story to it.
You're right.
You're not telling a whole lot about the person behind the music.
And what I like about this, though, is it focuses a little bit on his past and give us the nuggets of information that we need to know.
Yes, but it's more concerned about where he's past
going.
Exactly. That's what I liked about this one too. It's showing his journey from his point of view, from his like where he is now. We get enough of his past to determine, where he is now, but then we see where he's going as he goes.
Yeah. And for that you need a great actor to do it. Jeff Bridges is perfect for it, right? Because again, the character is kind of stereotypical, right? Because we have the basic sketch, we know where he starts, and we get enough to fill in the background. But now you want to take that journey with him in that story about where he goes. Yeah. And this would be a very easy character that could be very cliched with the wrong actor, or someone that you would not have a lot of sympathy or empathy for, but you do because Jeff Bridges is fantastic in the role. Yes.
Yeah, I mean there are a couple of parts, especially early on, where he's kind of despicable.
Yes,
but you believe it because it's Jeff Bridges playing it, and he does it so well. But you kind of empathize with him Because
yes,
even before you find out about his past, any part of his past, he just plays this character in such a way that you feel like you know him, like, right off the bat.
Exactly. And, you know, it allows you to take that journey. And then you get to a point that a pivotal moment late in the movie where, again, we'll get to it, where he does something really stupid.
Yeah. And he does.
And you would.
His response to it is
heartbreaking.
Yeah. Heartbreaking. And, you know.
And at the same time, you want to look at him like, what
at the same time,
were you thinking?
The kick in the pants that he needed to,
yes,
you know, then improve his life.
And there's reactions from a couple different characters within it. And you completely side with both of them with how they decide to respond.
Yes. Yeah.
Because they're at different situations themselves. They're different characters. They have different needs and different responsibilities.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It needs it for that. So, but to go along with that, right? So we talked about the music. T-Bone Burnett, right? He does the music for this. And Ryan Bingham is credited also with some of it. So it wasn't nominated for score. It was nominated and won for Best Original Song, the Weary Kind, which is a song we'll get late into the movie, right? And both of them were nominated for that and won. And then Maggie Gyllenhaal, right? He kind of rode Jeff Bridges' kind of coattails on this to her Oscar nomination. And this would have been soon after The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
And I mean, she already had been in plenty of movies. And strangely enough, this is she does not share screen time with this actress. She didn't share her with the other movie they were in together, Donnie Darko. But Beth Grant's in this movie.
Yes. Beth Grant is in this movie.
She does not have a single line in this movie.
Nope.
But she's in one scene and then a very quick shot in another scene.
So yeah, she's like in one in a fraction scenes.
Let's just say she has a tea party.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that.
But no, so the whole time that I was watching this, so Maggie Gyllenhaal reminded me in this movie, I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was just the wardrobe, the haircut, whatever. It was just the more of, you know, a Southern movie kind of thing. She reminded me in this movie of Lauren Cohan. Specifically, Lauren Cohan as Maggie in The Walking Dead.
I can see that. Yeah.
Even though Lauren Cohan, you know, sure, born in America, raised in England, you know, she's not Southern. You know,
no.
But plays a Southerner in Walking Dead. But no, for some reason, like Maggie Gyllenhaal reminded me of her in this movie.
Yeah, I see that.
To the point where, like, I could have seen this movie with, you know, Lauren Cohan could have played that part.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, I could see that. Because it's a very broad kind of role.
But both are also great actresses.
And Maggie Gyllenhaal is also very good at it.
Both are very, very good actresses. And so I could see either one of them playing this part.
Yeah, I can too. Absolutely. And I you know, it's funny. And you know, I do think it's funny, like Colin Farrell's in this movie.
Yeah.
It's like such an atypical role.
He is in a lot less of this movie than I thought he would be.
Yeah, no, he's only in like 2 scenes. I mean, maybe 3.
Yeah, I think like 3. But
it's probably like 3, maybe more, 3, maybe 4. I should say. But like,
even all of them together, he's not in this movie any more than like 15
there's
minutes.
3 scenes. I guess there's at least 3 scenes. There's maybe a 4th one. There's one scene that's very larger than the others. But
yeah, but even then, he couldn't have been in this movie for more than 15 minutes.
Most of this movie is really mostly Maggie Gyllenhaal. One of the two biggest. I mean, outside of Jeff Bridges, like Maggie Gyllenhaal is obviously the biggest.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's just a lot of it's just a collection of other characters he meets along the way.
As little of this movie as Robert Duvall's in, I think he might have more screen time than Colin Farrell.
He probably does. Like Colin Farrell's character is mentioned a lot in this movie.
Yes.
He's but yeah, he's not in a lot of it. I guess he does have 4 scenes because he's at the end also. Yeah. There's a handful of scenes that are really all tied within one larger scene, I guess, in the middle of the movie. But I mean, even like the characters actually probably in this more than him is probably Paul Herman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? He probably has a larger role than Colin Farrell, at least in terms of screen time.
Yeah. I mean, Jack Nation has more screen time than Colin Farrell does in this movie.
Yes.
And he's a little kid.
He's a 4-year-old. He probably has the third longest screen time of anybody in this movie.
Yeah, probably.
Right? Because you got Tom Bauer in this, but he's in like 2 scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And he's done halfway through the movie. It's really not a large cast.
No, it's not.
Because it's really all about, it's just kind of the travels of one person, Jeff Bridges.
Yep.
And then kind of this relationship that he develops with Maggie Gyllenhaal, who is, what's exactly their age gap, by the way?
Wide.
It's really weird how that develops. We'll talk about it as we get into the movie. Yeah, wide's correct. But it's funny because so before we actually really get in the movie, this is my second time watching it, and the first time, I mean, it was not long after it came out, and I knew she had developed this relationship, but for some reason I remembered it more as just kind of this casual friendship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's more than just a casual friendship. So let's just say it's quite a bit more than just a casual friendship.
I was not expecting going into this movie that Jeff Bridges would have a tea party with both Beth Grant and Maggie Gyllenhaal.
There may actually be some emotional catharsis in this movie, not just tea parties.
Yes. I said, yeah, tea party with Beth Grant. So, but that's there. Yes.
Spoiler alert, by the way.
But yeah, it's a good watch, right? Is it a great movie? Probably not. Is it a great performance? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. It's a good movie.
It is a good movie.
But it's a great movie? I don't know.
Again,
great performances. Good movie. And, definitely worth a watch.
One of the things I kind of like about it is because we talk about he's kind of like this washed up singer, and he's playing at these small bars, right? And I don't know, I like just because again they're making it low because it's low budget, the filming on location in these small bars, it gets this nice authentic kind of grittiness to it. I think it really helps it.
It gives it a lot more of an intimate feel.
It does.
Than your bigger budget movies like this.
So so it helps you believe kind of that his desperation, why he might feel so down on himself, kind of what he's reduced to.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Where he's playing not even these nice dive bars,
no,
these bars are probably going out of business as soon as the owner dies.
The first one that he plays at is a bowling alley.
It's a bowling alley, yes. The movie with Jeff Bridges starts at a freaking bowling.
Yes. Which I thought was an excellent touch.
Which I guess we can jump into that in a few minutes more. But yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm only mentioning that now because it is like the very beginning of the movie.
It's
so
the very
we're not
beginning
spoiling
of this movie.
anything.
We're not spoiling anything.
The bowling alley.
That this movie has a bowling alley.
Jeff Bridges at a bowling alley. That looks very similar to the Big Lebowski bowling alley. At least the bar
Sam
area
Elliott,
does.
Steve Buscemi, John Goodman, and John Turturro.
Yep. The Jesus is not in this movie.
No. There's also no fight with nihilists in the parking lot.
Nope. Carl Hungus is not among us.
Now, Too Excited Trampoline Guy is somewhere probably in this movie.
Yes, Too Excited Trampoline Guy is definitely somewhere in this movie.
There were concerts in this movie. He's probably out in the parking lot at one of these concerts. Because, I mean, there's a couple of bigger concerts that we go to in this movie. So he's probably at one of those concerts. He's one of those guys that doesn't go in the concert. He stays in the parking lot.
With his giant trampoline. He hears
the music from a distance. And he's looking at ladies are going by. They're ready to be topless. It's like, I got a trampoline. You have boobs out.
Yeah, I'm going to throw you up on my trampoline. And I'm just going to get too excited. So.
Cheers to that. There we go. We should get in the movie.
Yes, we should. We should. So, as always, spoiler alert, we are going to be talking about this entire movie. Beginning, middle, and end. So if you have not seen it and you don't want to be spoiled, pause the podcast, watch the movie, and come back and listen. If you have seen it or you just don't mind being spoiled, then keep on listening. But you have been warned, we are going to be spoiling this movie, which we've already kind of spoiled a little bit of it, but that's okay because the stuff we spoiled was at the very beginning of the movie, so we didn't really spoil much.
No, we didn't.
So,
and the thing we spoiled was this movie starts at a bowling alley.
With Too Excited Trampoline Guy.
I guess. Well, actually, I guess it starts. I guess it starts with a SUV, like, Jeep driving through these roads in the West, and then it arrives at a bowling alley.
It starts with some cinematography of the West of Colorado
and some very nice country music.
Yes,
and we're talking about country music. We're talking about really more of your 70s, 80s style country. Right, because again, he's kind of a washed-up country singer, right? And they do make a point of him thinking about how, country music has changed. And they're talking about this in 2009.
Yeah,
country music has changed even a lot from then to what it is now, right? So, yeah, but he arrives at a bowling alley. His name's up there, it says his name is Bad Blake. Jeff Bridges plays a musician called Bad Blake. He was once a massive country star. His records sold easily. He headlined, right? He was a well-known country artist.
Yeah.
Right? And now he is almost 60 years old. And he's playing at a bowling alley. Right? He doesn't have a tour bus that brings him there. He drives himself to the bowling alley.
He's not playing at a stadium. He's playing at a bowling alley. And not just like at a bowling alley, like in the small corner of a bowling alley.
Yes. Now, Grant, this bowling alley has a stage,
Yeah, it's a tiny stage
they have
in
enough
the corner.
Stage for some musicians, right? But we find out that this bowling alley is in Pueblo, Colorado, right? And previously he was playing at this town kind of on the border of New Mexico and Texas. And, the bowling alley owner or manager's there. He's there. They greet him. And he was telling him that, oh, yeah, your manager said that you'd be coming and this and that. They explain their pleasantries. And he tells them where he needs to go inside.
Yeah. So
you can kind of see
first, he walks in there and he's smoking a cigarette. And the owner tells him, there's no smoking inside, but feel free to finish that one off.
Yeah, because the owner is a fan of his music, and he's trying to be polite about it, right? It's like, oh yeah, no, you can, I get it. You're smoking outside, and
you're welcome to finish that one, but just don't light up another.
Yeah, you got to remember, this is at the time too, where around 2009 was around the time where a lot of indoor places really started transitioning to especially bowling alleys and bars.
Yeah.
Like by that time, most restaurants had eliminated smoking sections, but bars, bowling alleys, and places like that still largely allowed smoking.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, but they were transitioning away from that because of state laws and everything else, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. And so he's smoking at it. It's like, oh, okay. It's like, well, the stage is over there, the bar's there, and all. He doesn't tell him about the bar actually.
No.
He just tells him that the stage is over there. Take a look at it, get used to where, you can understand where it is. And,
but he's got to walk past the bar in order to get to the stage.
I have an idea about what your setup wants to be, right? But he has to walk, like you said, he has to walk past the bar to get to where the stage is. And it's actually a pretty nice bar for a bowling alley.
It looks a lot like the Big Lebowski bar.
I mean,
bowling alley bar.
Like, we grew up in the nice suburbs, and like the bowling alleys, the Bowl America we went to.
Yeah.
It was a couple of macros and a few rail bottles, not much else.
Yeah.
But this is almost like a full bar.
Yeah. And so he goes with the bar and he orders
his favorite whiskey.
And then,
what was the brand that he likes? McClure's, right?
Yes, McClure's.
Yeah, McClure's. Okay.
Yeah.
But he's told that he's been told that he's not allowed to have any.
No. He's not told he's not allowed to have any. He's told that they won't pay for it. So the owner of the place,
well, it's the bartender. She pours it for him, and he tells him to put it on his tab.
Yeah, put it on. His
there is no tab.
And there's like, there is no tab. And then he's like, what? And the owner comes over. He's like, well, yes, I mean you're here playing for us, and we're happy to pay for your hotel room, happy to cover your food. But we can't pay your bar tab.
It's what?
Is understandable.
It's it's part of your contract.
Yeah.
It's like, what? It's like, yeah, your agent actually stipulated that would be put in the contract that we can't pay for your booze.
Yeah. Which, I mean, makes sense, especially when you see how much he drinks. But also, just from a bar perspective, it makes sense.
Yes.
That, they'd be able to pay for the food, but, liquor licenses and stuff like that, they're very picky on what's allowed. And
yes, yes,
all of that. And, obviously they don't want to lose their liquor license. So, but yes, he specifies that it's in his contract that they are not allowed to pay for his booze.
And again, especially because this is a small bowling alley, right? They're not wealthy. Like, they'd be an easy one that could easily lose the liquor license.
Yeah.
It's not like he is playing at some big music venue where someone decides to gift him a box of liquor of his favorite whiskey.
It's not like that.
So, right? It just goes to show you where his career is.
Yeah.
So, he ends up putting out his cigarette.
Okay, fine. I'll pay for it. He drinks most of it. He leaves a little bit left in the glass.
There's a little bit left. That's why he puts out the cigarette.
And he hands it to the owner. He's like, here, hold this for me. And he drops a cigarette in there, and then he goes over to the stage.
Yep. So, he gets a lay of that. And the owner's like, oh, my. Not exactly who I thought he was.
Yeah.
Right? So we get a scene we cut to the scene where he is, he checks out his hotel. And again, it's a small little roadside type motel.
It's a small little motel. And
then we cut to him later. Then he ends up finding a little liquor store that's nearby.
First, that's after that, because when he's at the motel, isn't he getting ready to take a nap, and his accompaniment shows up?
No, that's after this. He goes to the motel, he goes to the liquor store, and he goes back to the hotel.
That's what it was.
Because he's got the liquor.
That's what it was.
He's got his whiskey, right? Because he goes there, yeah. So he goes to this little liquor store, and he's staring at their selection that they have of this whiskey and bourbon. And the store owner comes up. He's like, "Oh, yeah, Bad Blake." And he's looking at it, and he realizes that
Bad Blake, I knew you were in town.
Cash to buy. Yeah. And the guy's like, "Yeah, I knew you were in town." It's like, "I know this is McClure's. That's your favorite."
And so he's
I always carried the Star's favorite.
He's like, I special ordered McClure's just for you so that I could carry the Star's favorite and here you go. He just hands him the bottle and he's like, let it be known that I bought Bad Blake a drink. And he just
this guy's name is Bill. Yeah. Bill Wilson, played by Tom Bauer.
Yeah.
And what we did miss is that he had a conversation after he left at his motel with his manager, Jack Green.
Yes, Jack Green, played by Paul Herman.
And he's not happy that he's having him play all these small towns.
Yeah.
So he's cussing him out. Good.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but yeah, so Bill gives him a free bottle of McClure's.
He's like, oh yeah, my wife and I, we're coming to your show tonight. Can you play this song for us? It's my wife's favorite.
Can you play I Don't Know?
I don't know. So he's like, oh, and then, he's looking at the bottle that he just got handed for free. He's like, oh, I don't know. It's like, yeah,
I'll play it for you.
Play that. And what's the wife's name? I can't remember. Okay, anyway, that's not that important. So he goes back to the motel and he's just watching some show,
wasn't it?
Yes, Anne. That's what it was, Anne. And so he goes back to his motel room. He's watching on TV and
he's drinking some McClure's.
Yep, and he's got the windows drawn, right? It's dark in the room, and his pants are unbuckled,
and Tony shows up.
Knock on the door.
Not you, Tony.
Right?
You don't show up, Tony.
A different Tony.
But Tony in the movie shows up, played by Ryan Bingham.
And he's with his band. And they're the band that's going to accompany Bad at the show.
Mm-hmm.
And they want to know, what music he has for them to play. And it's like, it's like, okay, yeah, you got to follow me to my truck. And I'm like, okay. It's like, what time are you going to show up? It's like, well, right before the show. Like, no, we're hoping maybe
we're hoping we could play with you first and get
it's like, I don't do
get
that.
to know each other and be able to find a rhythm together. And so he's like, okay, well, tell you what, I'll be there in an hour.
He's not there in an hour.
Let me get
he shows up right before.
Let me take a quick nap. I'll be there in an hour. So he goes and it's who knows how long later, and he's in bed. He wakes up. And it seems like he's going to miss the show.
That's the way they make it feel like. Yes.
But, yeah. He gets there right as the show is about to start.
But he's ready. He is ready to play.
Mm-hmm. He's ready.
And he's doing a good job at first.
Yeah.
He's going through this entire set.
Well, first he goes and he gets a glass of whiskey and takes it up there to the stage with him. And he's sort of drinking that while he's playing. And he's start singing a song or two. The crowd's getting hyped up. We see Beth Grant.
Bill out there in the audience with his wife.
Mm-hmm.
We see Beth Grant out there, and she's enjoying it.
She plays Joanne.
She's got
the fabrics lady.
She's got her lipstick and makeup on. She's been a fan of Bad's for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
That bartender's still there, and she's listening. The owner's still there, and he's listening.
Yeah. Everybody's having a great time.
And they're having a great time. He's doing a good show. Like, he might be a little bit washed up, but he still knows how to do a pretty good show for the most part, right?
But, between songs and stuff, he's taking some swigs of the whiskey.
Yep. And then they have a little set break, and he's out at the back of the bowling alley with Tony and the rest of the band, and they're drinking, and they go back for the rest of the show, right? Mm-hmm. And then he realizes he still has the song they promised Bill.
Yeah, when they come back, he sees Bill and Ann sitting out there, and he's like, hey, so this next song is from a good friend Bill and his lovely wife Ann. I'm going to sing I Don't Know. And then, Tony and his band start playing.
Yep. And he has not started singing.
He has not started singing yet.
And you can tell he is stumbling a little bit, and everyone's kind of watching him like, what's going to happen?
And, he takes us, and Tony starts singing. And you're expecting Bad Blake to come in and
to come in
and start singing also.
Any moment.
So Tony's singing, and Bad Blake takes off his cowboy hat, puts it on the mic, and walks out the back door.
They was like, oh, what just happened?
And you see the band. The band's reacting to it.
Credit to Tony and the band,
but they keep on playing.
They react, but they keep playing.
They keep playing,
and he goes right through that back exit,
and he just pukes into the trash can. And he's out there for a couple of minutes, and he's just puking. And then he regains composure, and he goes back in.
He sits down on an amp.
Yeah, sits down on an amp. And he just sits there while Tony's singing the song that he promised that he would sing for
the mic. He puts it on his head.
And then he sings the last couple of lines of lyrics.
The show is over.
And
everyone applauds.
And you can tell that Bill and Anne are disappointed.
You know, he's not disappointed.
Joanne.
Beth Grant, because she's still smiling.
She's got a whole car full of fabric
and lifeline exercise cards. That's for our Donnie Darko episode, which is coming
at some point. At some point, we don't know when yet, but
we have to let it decide when it's going to come.
Yeah. So
anyway, she's not getting on a bus has to say about 55 miles an hour. We know that. But yes, she's smiling. She's happy. And we cut back to that motel room. And she's there in bed, fast asleep the next morning. Dad's getting out of the room. And they had a tea party.
Yeah. You see Beth Grant naked in this movie under a blanket.
Yes, under a blanket.
But yeah.
Yep. Then we get, more music and more cars driving, more countryside and landscape. Right? And now he's heading to Santa Fe.
Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Right? And this time he's not going to play the bowling alley. He's playing at a bar. Right? And he's meets this guy that's going to be one of his musicians that's playing. This guy plays the piano. This guy named Wesley.
Yes, Wesley Barnes.
And he gets into hears Wesley playing the piano. He's very impressed with
played by Rick Dial.
Wesley's musicianship.
Yes.
Right?
Wesley is great with the piano. He's a great piano player.
And so they have a little conversation beforehand, right? Because at this point, like, you can kind of tell he's more sober, he's lucid, he's able to carry on a good conversation.
But you can still tell that he's probably had a few drinks.
Yes.
And
they're having a nice conversation about the show and what to expect. And then Wesley brings up, like, oh yeah, I have a niece that lives here, and she's a writer. She's a journalist, and she would really love to get a chance to interview. Like, do you think she could stop by, your motel, your room later, and you give her an interview?
It seems like he's like staying in somebody's house.
Yes,
it's more than just like a hotel. It seems like he's somebody's letting him stay in their house or something like
a little guest room.
Yeah,
they have a little guest cottage or whatever they have, right? And so, like, yeah, I'm not one that normally does it. I'm like, okay, yeah, you can do that, I guess, because he has a respect for Wesley, right? So, and what he doesn't know, like, this is going to be a very consequential meeting for him.
Yes, very consequential.
So,
meeting. Like this meeting,
he
kind of defines the rest of the movie.
It does define the rest of the movie. And what's interesting is, like, so we cut to that room, this motel room, right? And you could tell he's recently been out of the shower. His hair's still wet, right? He's basically wearing a bath towel.
Yeah, he's got a towel around his waist.
He's sitting on a couch watching TV,
and he's got his dinner.
And his door is slightly ajar.
Yeah, he's got a styrofoam container with his dinner in it.
That's right. His dinner's there also.
He's got a glass of McClure's.
Yeah, and the door's slightly ajar. And then it kind of pushes open, and Maggie Gyllenhaal, Rachel Dawes in The Dark Knight, has resurrected. And walks through the door.
Spoiler alert for Dark Knight. We have not talked about that movie yet, Tony.
Anyway, anyway, and of course she's a little bit embarrassed because Jeff Bridges is naked.
Yep.
She's 30 years her
He's
is younger.
just sitting there in a towel.
She apologizes. Oh, I'm sorry. This is a bad time. It's like, oh, no, I'm sorry. I just got out of the shower. I was eating my dinner.
Just give me a minute to change. So he goes.
I can come back after the show. He's like, no, now's a good time. Let me change.
Yeah, so he goes into the bedroom and he, puts some pants on and throws a shirt on, but doesn't button it.
But he kind of combs his hair a bit. Just combs his hair back a little bit, right? It's still wet.
Makes himself look somewhat presentable.
And then he comes out, he lets her in, and, they start having a conversation. He's still eating his dinner out of that container, right? And they kind of cover the very basic facts to start with. It's like, how do you learn, where do you learn to play music? And talks about a story with his father. Right? And now this is when we start getting a little bit of that backstory.
Yeah.
Right? And so she asks this question about this guy that it's other country star. That's the hot new thing in country now, right?
Tommy Sweet.
It's like, all right. And so we find out she's alluding to that. Bad was kind of a mentor to Tommy.
Yeah.
But he's very emphatic. I don't want to talk about Tommy. We're not going to talk about Tommy. Yeah. Right? So we're not talking about Tommy. We're not going to talk about my marriages, right? So we've had 4. Like, yeah, I had 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, she gets a little bit of a background. And the guy says, you know what? The show's coming up soon. Like, how about after the show, we want to talk a little bit more. We can talk a little bit more. Right? So, she agrees to this. And, we cut to the show. And, and this time, he doesn't puke that we see of. He gets to the entire show. He's not as drunk this time.
Yeah, and he's actually singing the entire show.
Yeah, he sings the entire show.
He doesn't let the rest of the band do all the work. It's a great show.
Wesley does a great job on piano.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a good show. And, and we see that Maggie Gyllenhaal is there waiting after the show.
Well, first off, they had to cut the interview short a little bit. And so then Maggie Gyllenhaal asks if, or rather, Jean Craddock.
Jean, yes. She plays Jean Craddock.
She asks, can we finish the interview after the show? And he's like, well, I don't know. We'll see how things go.
Oh, so he says that, yeah, that's right. He doesn't say, he doesn't commit to that per se. Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes. And then just before the show starts, then this woman comes up to him. And
that's right. I forgot about that. Yes, thank you.
Wait a sec. Maybe this is Anne.
No, she's there. It's Anne.
Yeah,
it's Anne.
This is Anne.
Deborah Mancini.
Yeah. So Bill's wife's not Anne. Yeah. Bill's wife wasn't Anne. This is Anne. Anne comes up to him and wants to see what he's doing after the show. Wants to grab a drink with him or something after the show. And he's like, sorry, I got an interview that I'm doing.
Yeah. So that was when you see it, like, oh, wow, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of thought she might be a hooker when I first saw her.
Yeah.
I was like, is she going to anyway?
Yeah. So, I mean, at that point,
he's like, I forgot about it a little part. Yep.
Yeah. Because, he was unsure about it when he was talking to Jean. And then he's like, oh, nope, I can't get together with you. I have an interview.
But then Anne says, oh, that's okay. I know you're in town for another night.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And she brought him a drink also, right? Yeah.
So it's like, well, what about tomorrow? He's like, oh, well, maybe tomorrow.
It's like, yeah, okay, that time would be fine. Yeah, maybe tomorrow. Thanks for the drink, right? And she asks for a request, right? What love can do, right? And then he finishes the show with what love can do for Anne, right? Right. So then, yeah, and then he's outside the bar, and Jean is ready outside this bar, right? And Jean's like, oh, you're busy now? It looks like you were busy. And he's like, no, I said I'd answer more questions. Like, I said that we can. Right? And so they go back to his room.
Was Bill's wife Donna?
I don't know. Maybe.
I'm trying to remember what her name was.
Right? And so, Bad, again, he's drinking. He offers her a drink. It's late. And she sees it. He keeps smoking. It's like, how much do you smoke? Right? And they kind of get into the actual stuff, right? She's like, well, what's your favorite record? And he says, oh, I have to say, Falling and Flying. It made me a hell of a lot of money and turned my life around. Right? You can tell, like, this is one of his famous songs, like his most maybe one of his most popular songs. She's like, oh, do you ever get tired of playing that? Because some musicians get tired of playing their popular songs, right? It's like, oh no, I only get tired if I have to play like 3 times a night, but the song's been good to me. It made me a lot of money.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, it's like I can't really turn my back on it. Like, I have to be loyal to that song. And then she kind of gets into real stuff. She's like, well, today's all, as we talked about earlier, like there's this contrast between the modern country and the country of his day when he was at his peak.
Yeah.
Right. It's like she asked him, who's real country? And he goes back to like some of the old names, like
some of the old
Merle
names,
Haggard, Loretta Lynn.
Yeah. Hank Williams.
And then that's when she asked about, well, what about Tommy? About Tommy Sweet. It's like, like, yeah, more than he would admit it, because I taught him country.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he tries to cover it up, right? Competing, he tries to compete with the modern people, but Tommy's real country when it comes down to it.
Probably the nicest thing that he has to say about Tommy Sweet in this entire movie.
It was interesting. Like, again, we'll get into it. Like, there's really not a whole lot of reason for them to be super antagonistic.
No,
towards each other.
It from what it seemed to me, like from what I saw out of it, was Tommy, in the few times that we see him in this movie, seems very appreciative of.
He does
Bad,
very.
And what he taught him and all that. All the animosity seems to be coming from Bad Blake's side.
Absolutely.
Because it seems to me like, here he teaches this kid, he mentors him, all this, and then this kid blows up and sort of leaves him in the dust.
And really where his kind of vitriol should really be pointed is not so much towards Tommy, it should be pointed more towards the modern industry.
Yes.
And how it now treats its fading stars.
Yeah.
And just how, how they conduct business.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we get kind of a sense
in all
of
the scenes later. In all the scenes that Bad and Tommy, share in this movie, in like the 3 or 4 scenes that they share, I never get any sort of animosity coming from Tommy.
And when you really boil down to it, like, you get a sense like the real enemy here really is more, that wedge is really the modern industry and how it conducts things.
And Tommy was what people wanted to listen to now.
Yeah.
Bad may have been what they wanted to listen to 20, 30 years ago. Tommy's what people want to listen to now. And he's talented, and Bad helped him to reach his potential. And he blew up because of it. And he's thankful to Bad for everything that he did for him. But because Tommy kind of got lifted to this higher level than Bad currently is,
and I don't think
Bad seems to have taken some offense to that.
If he's lifted to that level, but the industry has decided that he should be lowered because of it.
Yeah.
That it doesn't have as much time. Like, because one of the conversations he has with his agent is like, well, no, like, these stores, they don't want to buy any of your records anymore, right? Your producer, or your label won't sell them to stores anymore because they just don't sell enough.
Yeah.
Right. And so, like, that's why he's not making money, because, like, the label is not selling enough of his records to the stores. So anyway, so she continues on. It's like,
well, is that his fault?
It's not his fault.
Is that his fault or Jack Green's fault?
It could be Jack Green's fault, or it could just be the label's fault. The label could find a way to market him if they want to, right?
Yeah.
And we get a sense of how that could be later.
Because he's still making the same quality music he's always made.
Yes. I think, and there's a portion of that I think we can talk about when we get to see with him and Tommy.
Mm-hmm.
Because, so Gene asked him, it's like, well, how did you meet Tommy? He's like, I don't want to be, can't like cranky about this, but like you want I don't want to talk about them, and it's just like, well, what do you want to talk about? It's like, well, how about, do you have any idea how bad you make this room look?
Yeah.
Like, it's a dump when I first came in here, but you.
But you walk in and it looks even worse compared to you.
And then she blushes like I haven't seen anyone blush like that since I don't know when. Beth Grant didn't blush like that.
How do you know? We didn't actually get to see them. We didn't see if he made Beth Grant blush. I will tell you, though, if there was a Lifeline exercise card involved, there was some blushing.
Anyway, he asked her where she's from. She says, in Oklahoma. And Dallas is, it's like, well, what's important about you, Oklahoma? And she gives it, she's willing to give him some of her backstory. I've got a son, Buddy. He's 4, right? And I gotta go get him from the babysitter soon. And he's like, yeah, I know, I should go. Like, I know you turned that woman down at the bar. I'm sorry, I spoiled your evening.
He's like, oh, don't worry about it, girl. You didn't spoil my evening at all.
And then she's like, well, did you get what you need? Like, oh, I could use more. It's like, okay, well, after the show tomorrow night.
Best Lando Calrissian.
He is. But yeah, he promises her more another night of an interview, like, so she get more material.
Yeah.
Like, he's taken by her, not just because he wants to have a tea party with her.
Yes.
He's interested in her.
He's interested in her. And and he even says, like, tomorrow after the show. After he already told Anne,
even though he told Anne that maybe he might be available
after the show, then I'll get you, I'll get a drink with you. But no, he's like, why don't we finish this interview tomorrow after the show? And then,
right, and so it cuts the next day,
and he gets a call from Jack.
And Jack, yeah, he's like, hey, I got great news for you. Like, can't cancel your next thing in this small town, Benson, Arizona. You got to go into Phoenix to the Sun Pavilion for 8:00 sharp tomorrow night because you're opening for Tommy. It's like, I don't want to wait for. First, like, I don't want to wait for Tommy. He's like, wait, and Jack's like, I just got you out of the Red Bison Lounge, so you can
go and play in front of 15,000 people. And you're turning that down?
You're opening for the hottest star in country. And they're going to turn that down so you can play the Bison Lounge. Right?
He's like, well,
like, no, I got this. Like, who else are you going to open for? Madonna?
And he's like, oh, I can't do it. And then Jack's like, so you're going to be there, right? He's like, yeah, I'll be there.
And finally, he's just like, yeah, because he's like, I'll be there. But it's like the dream of every Simon is that someday the front man whose ass he's been staring at is going to open for him. And I don't owe that dream to Tommy. Like, I'll. I like this. Like, it's funny. Like, I forgot like how foul of a mouth Dad had on this. Like, It's like,
yep,
you cocksucking son of a bitch. Anyway, so, they hang up, and he's still in Santa Fe.
Mm-hmm. He still goes and he plays this last show in Santa Fe.
Yep,
because he's there for 2 nights.
The bar. He's like, I want to thank you. I want to thank for helping Jean out. She's a real nice girl, right? But she's real nice. Oh no. Wesley says that to Baz. Like, I want to thank you for helping out. Jean out, right? Oh yeah, she's nice. You should be proud of her, right? So, Wesley. Oh yeah, I am. I think the world of her. And Bad's like, oh, I'm like, yeah, I'm starting to think the world of her too, right? And so it ends. He can't find Jean, right? Looking around. Show ends. What was it there? I'm sorry, I missed the scene. I thought. Okay, that's right. That's there. Oh, so yeah, and that's why she's like, yeah, she was waiting on the sitter for her son,
Yeah.
Buddy. Right? He's like, yeah, no, I had to find a sitter. It's like, it's really hard finding a sitter at 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, no, I get off at 1 o'clock. I know how hard it is to find things at 1 o'clock, right?
So then, yeah, and this is when they're out at their cars.
Yep.
And so he's like, so you want to go grab a drink? And she's like, sure. And so,
like, yeah, I could use one.
Yeah. So he follows her to the bar where they're going to have a drink.
Yep. And they keep having a little interview. And she's like, oh, where do you find your songs from? I'm like, out of Living, unfortunately.
Yeah, Living.
Right? Like any good country song.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we covered that easily with Walk the Line.
Yep.
It's like, okay, well, what about like Lonesome Nights? Oh, well, that was Susie. That was my fourth wife. The one that ran off. She was 23. I was 46. And then, again, he looks at Jeans like, I must be obliged. Just, apologize for this ugly room that you're in again.
Yeah.
Because she's so pretty.
Yep. Yeah, because they're back at his. Did they go to a bar and have a drink and then go back to his place, or did they just go back to his place?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
And then it's like, is this that famous country charm of yours? It's like, oh, I've never been famous for charm. It's like it's not too late to start. And then instead of continuing the interview, they go in for a kiss.
Yeah, they go in for a kiss, or he goes in for a kiss.
And she obliges.
And she
to kiss.
reciprocates.
Reciprocates. Good word.
And
it's not entirely clear because what happens next, except that the next scene she wakes up and she's undercover. She's undercovers, and
it's implied.
I guess
it's implied that there was tea served.
More than tea. This was a high quality tea party. This is not just a regular bowl China shop tea party. This was Linda Hamilton, Michael Bain level emotional catharsis.
I don't know if I'd quite put it emotional catharsis yet. This is definitely like the tea party that Buzz Lightyear was part of in the first Toy Story.
Yes,
when he's with Marie Antoinette and her sister.
I like this. Yes. Wow.
And he's missing an arm.
And he's just discovered he is fancy. Not a real space man.
This is the fancy tea party like that.
Anyway. Now, that's seared in there.
Yeah.
All right then.
Yeah.
So she's like, they start talking business again, and not the tea business. They start talking about music and
we may have
articles.
We may have to find a new analogy.
We might have one considering what next week's episode is.
Yeah, true. We might.
But to find that out, we get to listen to the end of this episode.
Yeah.
So anyway, she's like, well, I do have something. I do have some other news for you before we go, right? You can, you can write about. Like, I'm opening for Tommy, right?
And she's like, what? I thought you hated Tommy.
Whoa. No, my agent says it's a big. No, my agent says it's a big deal. And then we kind of like, what did you do the album together? Like, well, we kind of did, but it was he got most of the checks, right? So they decided to talk about it later. They decided, we're going to finish the rest of this later. And before he goes, though, he ends up going, before he goes to that show, which I guess is still like another day away, he gets breakfast at Jean's house. And he makes biscuits.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And he...
Yeah, because he asked her because he asked her if, he wants her to make him to... If he asks her if she wants him to make his special biscuits for her and her son.
And we realize that he's a good breakfast baker.
Yes. And he's great with Buddy.
Oh, yeah. They very quick.
Yeah. The two of them bond.
We discovered later that he has one son that he hasn't spoken with in 24 almost years. 30, like 24 years. Yeah, his son's about in his late 20s, and he hasn't spoken to him since the boy's been 4.
Mm-hmm.
And discovered Buddy is 4.
Yeah. Right.
So they have this nice breakfast with his biscuits. They wave him goodbye. Right. And he drives off to Arizona, to Phoenix. Right. We get more shots of the countryside, nice country music that goes with it. And then it's such a different experience. Like last time we see him going into this bowling alley, this dive bar. Yeah. He's going into the back entrance of this big pavilion, music pavilion, right?
And he walks into the dressing room. There. There's an actual dressing room there for him and the band.
Yes.
He walks in there, and there's this case of McClure's.
Right, and he's got this nice, the band that's his backing band, and he meets them. It's like, oh yeah, nice to meet you. Yeah, we'll go out and stage practice soon, right? But
he opens up that case and he pulls out a bottle, and there's a note. Drinking? There's a note sitting on the case.
Oh, from Tommy. That's right.
From Tommy. It says, all it says is, "Just save me some, Tommy."
And it's a case of McClure's. Like. There's easily a bottle in there for Tommy.
Yeah.
So, he also meets the recording engineer that's going to be there, right? And so they get out there and they're playing some of his songs, and he doesn't like the mix. So he shouts out to the engineer, and he's like, no, you can't hear how it sounds out here. Like, out here it's going to sound fine. It's like, no, I know how my song should sound like. You need to adjust it like this. And this guy right now, doesn't want to listen to him.
Yeah. This sound guy, he's got the mix perfect for what he thinks it should sound like. And Bad's like, no, that's not what my song is supposed to sound like.
He's like, we will stand here through Tommy's set if we have to. I'm not moving
until we get my sound right. Until you make the adjustments that I'm telling you to make. So, he makes the adjustments. He's like, oh, that sounds great. Thanks.
So, they get through their sound check, right? And then, he decides he needs to go get his, some food. So he goes to this little steakhouse. No, nothing fancy. Not some fancy steakhouse. Nope. Right? It was some regular steakhouse, and he's eating there, and he's sitting kind of in the back in this booth. Tommy walks in. Colin Farrell, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some young girls see him. They want his autograph. He gives it to them. And they say hi. It was like, we'll be at the show. And he sits down across from Bad. And then, they start talking, right? We don't know how long it's been since they've actually sat together or talked, right?
I mean, we get the sense that it's been a while, but we don't know exactly how long.
And you can tell that Tommy has no bad blood against Bad. Yeah. And even Bad's bad blood, it's not deep bad blood, it's just a little bit more resentful. He's envious.
It's more envy than it is resentment.
Like hatred or resentment, right? And so Tommy's like, yeah, I heard he might be here. Right? And when Tommy comes in, he's got a nice bottle of water, right? His bottle of water that costs $4 or $5 when you go to the gas station to buy, right? And then, Bad's like, you're not drinking any Southern Comfort? I thought you liked Southern Comfort. Like, oh no, I only drink it on stage because it's good for the throat. And Bad's like, yeah, no, I heard that. Too sweet for me. Right, which it's SoCo.
Yeah,
he likes his whiskey, right? I was like, yeah. Well, so they continue the conversation, and then this guy comes up. He's like, oh, I hate to bother you, Tommy, but I'd love to have your autograph. Like, I got all your records. Right, I'm gonna be at the show tonight.
Is everybody coming to the show?
And Tommy signs. It's like, that guy over there. That's the autograph we really need. That's
Hmm.
Bad Blake.
Yeah.
The guy has no
And the
idea
guy's
who
like, who?
Bad Blake is. He's like, oh yeah, yeah, that's cool. And he hands the paper. He hands it over to Bad. Tommy hands it to Bad. It's like Bad's like, no.
Kind of reminded me of Avengers Endgame with
Yes.
Hulk and Ant-Man when the kids come up to get Hulk's autograph. And Ant-Man's like, but I'm Ant-Man. And like, who? It's like, Ant-Man, come on. Don't you want your picture with me? He's like, sure.
So
Yeah, that's kind of what that reminded me of.
before Tommy leaves, he's like, yeah, enjoy the tours together, right? It's good to see you again. I'm glad you agreed to do this, right? And Bad's like, yeah, well, I need the money. I'd be in Benson, not here, right? If I didn't need that money.
So yeah.
And
So
then we kind of get a continued conversation before the show though, where like, oh yeah, they walk out, yeah, after they finish their meal and they walk out in the parking lot. And Tommy talks about the story that when they broke down in Texas somewhere, in the middle of West Texas,
mhm.
right? The middle of nowhere, right? And he's like, yeah, it was over 100 degrees outside, right? And talk about some of those old times, like why not? And so finally, they get on. Bad's like, okay, well, how's your tour going? It's like, oh yeah, I got 50 states, no, 50 dates in 2 months. He's like, oh no, I'm out for a month with 6 states, right? Not dates, 6 states, it's a month. We all know what it is, right? It's
Yeah.
all pickup bands. And then Tyler's like, oh man, that sucks. Like, we should have gotten together earlier. We could have done this whole tour together. And Bad's like, well, we tried that once. And I was like, oh, there's all these other things going on, this and that, right? You can tell, like, Tommy really wants to help
Yeah,
Bad,
he does.
right?
Like Tommy
I was like,
doesn't
like, I'm sorry that,
deserve at least from what we see of Tommy in this movie, Tommy doesn't deserve the shit that Bad is giving him.
yes. And Tommy's like, well, and he tells like, well, that one tour we were together, like, where Tommy was probably the headliner, Bad was the opener. It's like, oh, I guess, it seemed like they had to like arrange things differently because Tommy's like, I had a marriage to think about. And Bad's like, I had a couple I wanted to keep together also in a career. Right. And so like, and then, Tommy looks at the, the Suburban's like, oh, I'm glad Bessie still like, yeah, yeah, still runs well. And Tommy gets real about it. It's like, he gave me my start. Like, I remember that. I'm grateful for it. And it's like, and you can tell Bad doesn't want to talk about it because then he changed the subject. He talks about Tommy's boots. Like that salesman did a hell of a job. He must have threatened to shoot your dog,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
so Bad's
Bad
like,
does not
finally,
like Tommy's
why,
boots.
and Tommy brings it to like, why don't we do an album together? And Bad's like, well, why the hell would you want to do it with me? Like, it's like, no, I didn't say I wouldn't do one with. No, I guess that it comes up. And Tommy's like, I didn't say I wouldn't do one with you. It's like my label right now wants me to thinks I should do more solos before I do a duet album with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like that's the second part, really, where like this animosity, or at least this
Yeah.
resentment, comes from, right?
Yeah. Because Tommy's attached to a label. He's attached to a record
Yes.
label. And Bad is no longer attached to a label.
And Bad's like, listen, like I'm almost 60, like I need to do something new. I might like I can't get a solo album. I need an actual album, and I can't get one by myself, right? Like I need to be connected with you to do this. And then Tommy comes up like, well, here's the thing though, like, how about this in the meantime? Like, you're the songwriter. You're the best writer there is out there. Like, you could just write the songs and get the checks off that,
Mm-hmm.
and I would sing them. And then, like, you may not appear playing on the album, but you would get credit for the songs, right? But Bad's not at that point yet where you can accept that as being that next step.
No.
And because Bad just says, like, I haven't been that songwriter in years. So, and Bad's like, well, we can do an album, but I can't write you any songs. It's kind of how they leave it because they have music to get, they get their shows to get to, right? So we cut backstage. Ralphie's kind of like the stage manager. He's like, oh, yeah, no, Mr. Green sent you $5 of product to sell here at the show. Bad's like, what? I'm not selling any product. Like, I'm not here to sell product.
Yeah, I'm here to play. I'm not here to sell. No, I'm here
to play. I'm here to
albums.
sing. Right. And so, he gets out there with the band, and they play. And they have a good set. They have 40, they're told he has 45 minutes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that is it, right? Because Tommy has to be so long after that. And Tommy can't go more than 3 minutes past 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
So, he has to stay to his 45 minutes to make sure everything falls into place, right?
So Bad's out there. He's playing his heart out. He's having a grand old time playing in front of these 15,000 people. And from backstage, here comes Tommy sneaking up.
Yep. And gets up there and he's telling the crowd to be quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes right into the middle of the song that Bad's singing.
Yeah, and he starts singing right into the mic as Bad sort of steps away, to strum the guitar a little bit.
Yep. And Bad just rolls with it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you can tell Bad's kind of miffed.
Yes, he can. He's not expecting this at all.
But he's professional. He just rolls with it, keeps playing. Mm-hmm. This song turns into a duet. They're singing together on it. And then once they're done with that song, then Tommy excuses himself from the stage.
Yep.
They kind of go on and before he leaves the stage, then, Bad kind of suggests that, hey, why don't we do one of your songs? And Tommy's like, oh, no, I don't want to spoil everything for later. This is your time.
Yep.
And so yeah, Tommy goes off.
And and Bad finishes his set. He gets off stage. Ralphie, the manager, tells him, like, oh, yeah, Tommy would love for you to come on a couple of his songs. Right?
Yeah, he's like, he's got 4 songs, I think it was.
Yes.
It's like, Tommy wants you to play with him on 4 songs. And Bad's like, no, I'm not going to do that.
No. And we see him kind of walk off. It looks like he's kind of going towards, like, I got albums to sell or something like that, right?
Yeah, I got albums to sell.
And so you can kind of see him at the back of the arena. And he's kind of watching it from, Tommy's set from afar. And he walks off, right? And the next thing we have is him in the middle of the desert on some dirt road, not dirt road, on a highway in the middle of the desert, kind of like we saw him break down, right? And he's pulled over to the side by a phone booth.
Yeah.
Now, this is 2009, right?
There's still some phone booths around.
There's still some phone booths, especially in the middle of nowhere on roads.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because at this point, this would have been a place where you definitely would, occasionally see phone booths is in the middle of nowhere where you might not actually have cell coverage.
Yeah.
Because, if you break down and a car might not be coming by for at least 30 minutes.
Then it might be a good idea to call somebody before J2L shows up in a semi.
Or the Hills Have Eyes happens.
That too.
Right? And he calls, he calls to Santa Fe. And, he calls Buddy and Gene. Buddy answers, right? And, Bad's like, oh, yeah, it's the old biscuit maker, Buddy. Right? And then, he ends up talking with Gene. She's like, yeah, that's about how Phoenix was. And he doesn't really say, he's like, he wants to really know about how Gene is.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, oh, are you thinking about me?
He's like, I'm always thinking about you.
Right. He's like, well, listen, I have a couple of days here before I need to get back to Houston. I was thinking, Santa Fe's on the way to Houston from Phoenix.
Yeah, I was thinking about swinging by. And she's like, oh, that'd be great. Come on down.
Come on down. Right? So we cut. He's driving his Suburban, and you can see him. He is dozing off.
Mm-hmm.
And then he dozes off, and he hears himself skidding towards the other side of the road. And he overcorrects and he flips his car as it goes down this embankment on the other side of the road.
It just tumbles down this embankment.
And he is not wearing his seatbelt, and so he tumbles down. He's laying on the passenger side of the vehicle.
Yeah, he's like basically between the seat and the dashboard. He's hit his head. He's bleeding from the head. And this couple comes up.
Yep. And the next thing we see is he wakes up and he's in a hospital bed, right? He's got a broken leg, he's got like a broken arm, right? And the nurse, he's like, oh, where am I? Where am I? And the nurse is like, wait, relax, Mr. Blake. You're in Santa Fe. You got a broken ankle. You have a concussion. He's like, oh, can I leave? He's like, you got to see the doctor first. You got to speak with the doctor, right? And so, cut back, it's a little bit later, and he's having a conversation with this doctor. The doctor's just sitting down there. He's like, the real problem, like, I mean, your ankle's gonna heal, right? And but like, we gotta talk really more about your general lack of condition, right? You're at chronic risk for heart failure, emphysema, cancer, right? Stroke. All these things if you keep living this way.
Yeah. Keep smoking as much as you're smoking. Keep drinking as much as you're drinking. And bad things are going to happen. You need
to lose 25 pounds and stop these habits if you want to live much longer.
But that doesn't seem to phase Bad all that much.
No. So we eventually cut and we see that Gene is there to be able to pick him up from the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And he's going to stay just briefly over at her place while he recuperates until he's able to get back to Houston. Because, he's got a broken ankle. He can't really drive with a broken ankle, especially it looks like it's his right ankle.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And, they they kindle up this relationship.
Yes.
At the time that he's being tended to here.
Yes.
Even though she thinks it's not a good idea that they sleep in the same bed, so Buddy doesn't get confused.
Yes. So she allows him, since he has the broken ankle, she offers him the bed, and she's going to sleep on the pull-out couch.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, no, you take the bed, I'll take the couch. She's like, no, you need the extra comfort of the bed. You sleep in that, I'll sleep on the couch.
So... he's spending his time there, and he's having this great time with Buddy. They're having a fun time. They're baking together. He's taking them to the playground and having fun.
Yeah,
all these things.
Yeah, so Jean is going to take Buddy to the. She's going to take him to daycare, and Bad's like, "Oh, what? I'll watch him."
Yeah,
and Jean's like, "Are you sure?" He's like, "Yeah, we'll have fun." And
he's like, this fun
"Hey,
day,
Buddy." Would you rather go to the daycare or do you want to stay here and have fun with me? And Buddy's like, oh, I want to stay here and have fun with you.
Yeah, and they have fun. Like, they go to the playground. Like, he goes to the swing
park.
Right now,
he's pushing it with a crutch.
Like, he's pushing with the crutch in the swing. And they get, Gene gets home later that day. They've had this great day together. It's been fun.
Gene gets home and they're not home yet.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
And first, so before Jean leaves them to have a day together, she makes Bad promise one thing.
Not to drink around them.
She says,
that's right.
One thing, I want you to promise me, don't drink around Buddy. And he's like, all right, I won't drink around Buddy. Yeah, so they're at the park and they're playing, and Jean gets home and she calls out to Buddy, and he's not quiet. There. It's quiet. And so she starts to panic. And as she
And
turns
it's like a minute
around,
later, they just walk in.
yeah. So she turns around. She's going to go grab the phone, and then they walk in the door, and they're laughing. They're having a great time. And then she sees them, and she's relieved because Buddy's home. He's with Bad, and he's safe.
So, they continue the time there, and then we have a scene where Bad, he's on his guitar and he's strumming, and you can tell he's working out this song, right? And he's saying these lyrics like, "You called all your shots, shooting 8 balls at the corner truck stop. Somehow this don't feel like home anymore," right? And Jean comes in, it's like, she's kind of smiling at the song, and Bad's like, "Oh, you know that song?" It's like, "Oh, yeah, I think I know it, but I can't remember who did it." It's like, "Oh, that's the way it is. The good ones are the ones you've heard before." She's like, "Oh, you wrote this song?" It's like, "Yeah, I just wrote it right now."
I just wrote it right now.
She's like, "Oh, like that's unfair." And Bad's like, "What? Well, what's unfair about that?" It's like, well, some people would trade 10 years of their life to be able to write something like that. And it just pours out of you. And, Bad's kind of confused. Like, he thinks she's mad at him. It's like, she's like, "Oh, no." I was like, "Well, I can get to a hotel." It's like, she's like, "No, don't be dense. Like, I don't want you to go." And Bad, he's like, "Well, what's wrong then?" It's like, "You're writing a song on my bed." Right? It's like, so I was like, now they keep it for the rest of my life. And every time I lay down and hear this beautiful song,
I'm going to think
you'll
about
be out there running around, not even remembering a day that I can't forget. It's like, what do you mean? Like, I'll remember this day.
It's like, I will never
he's still
forget
not quite
you.
getting what she's saying.
What do you...
It's like, no, like, it's like in the hospital, all I could think about who to call was like you. I won't forget this day. I promise. Right. And so, we kind of cut to another day, and like, Jack's now, Bad's talking to Jack. It's like, "No, I wasn't drinking. I just fell asleep." And Jack's like, "What are you doing back in Santa Fe?" It's like, "Oh, I'm visiting." He's like, "I'm visiting a friend." Right. It's like, well, and Jack's like, "Well, I want you to get back on your tour soon. Like, can you drive?" It's like, "Yeah, I'll be able to drive soon." Right. And then finally, Jack has like, "Well, it's like, I have a contract here offering you $75,000 for an album to be recorded at a future date, plus 20,000 refusal rights to all songs written or co-written by you over the next 2 years." Right? And he's like, "And you have Tommy to thank for this." And Jack's like, "Get back to Houston, and I'll talk to you there." He's like, "And don't get married."
Yeah, don't get married again.
Gene's back here listening to all this. Like, "Do you want me to call him back and tell him I'm not going to marry you?" And then, before he leaves, he's like, I got a good buddy. Like, I told him he could draw on your cast, right? And so, we finally have a scene before they leave. Like, he pours out finally, because it's not like that. They could give a little bit more about his backstory, where he's like, "I have a 28-year-old son,
Yeah, this is when
Gene.
like,
I haven't seen him since he was 4. And like, I don't even know where he is. His mom lives in Marfa, Texas. I don't even know what he looks like and what he's doing. I didn't teach him how to ride a bike. I drive a car. I never threw a baseball to him. None of this, right?" And Gene's like, "Why not?" It's like, "Well, I wasn't there. And when I wasn't there." Gene's like, "Oh, yeah. Well, I couldn't live if I lost Buddy." Right. And then Bad's like, "Well, that's the damnedest thing is like, you do live." Right. So, they have all the time there, and, he eventually makes it all the way back to Houston before offering biscuits again before they leave. Right. So they go through all that, and he pulls up this house. Go on.
This is where he meets up with Robert Duvall, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So he gets back, to his house in Houston, and he goes to his favorite bar there, where he's really, he knows the owner,
Wayne.
and he's Wayne. They're good friends, right? And it's somewhere there in Houston, right? You can tell this is probably the middle of the afternoon. It's not a very busy bar, right?
Yeah. So Bad and Wayne have known each other for years.
For years. And like you could tell, like
Wayne seems
Bad
to be
will just play at Wayne's bar.
Yeah, Wayne seems to be one of Bad's
without
closest
even being
friends.
within a contract that's contracted out through his agent. He'll just play there.
No, Wayne seems to be one of Bad's closest friends.
Yep. So because the first thing Wayne says when he gets in the way, only the way Robert Duvall will ever. I mean, Robert Duvall is so much range. He was such a terrific actor. We'll talk more about that in a few weeks. He just looks at Jeff Bridges like, Bad, you look like shit.
And that
it's like
with that Robert Duvall zest he puts into it.
Yes, he does. No matter like what type of character he plays, he'll have just his own that zest, as you said. And Bad's like, oh, it's probably all the toilets I've had to play in the last few months, right? And then they just kind of continue this friendly banter that these two friends have, right? He's like, yeah, I heard about your wreck. That's a shame. Bad's like, yeah, it could have been worse. He asked Wayne about how business has been. Wayne said hasn't been great. I had to lay off a bunch of people. I only have Jesus here, right? He calls Jesus over. Instead of calling him Jesus, he calls him like Juan. He talks about being in Santa Fe and meeting a woman in Santa Fe. Right?
I love how IMDb has Richard Gallegos. He's credited as Jesus and Juan. It's Jesus/Juan.
There could be only one.
His character's name is Juan. But Robert Duvall keeps calling him Jesus.
Not Jesus, hey Zeus.
We'll get to that movie too. Eventually.
So, anyway, you can tell that later that night, Bad's going to play there for Wayne, right? But we go back to Bad's house first, and he's still on the sofa, and he is strumming out. He has put more lyrics to this song that he was working at Gene's house, right? He's talking about the whiskey, the highway, and then we get to this line that this ain't no place for the weary kind. This ain't no place to lose your mind. This ain't no place to fall behind. Right? Pick up your crazy heart. Give it one more try. Right? And he starts thinking about things, right? And he finally gets this idea. He's got to call somebody. He goes out. He finds a phone book. There's a phone book in this movie.
There's a phone book in this movie, and he doesn't...
Not just attached to a payphone. No, there's a phone book in someone's house.
This
person goes and grabs the phone book.
And he doesn't even tear a page out of it. He doesn't pull a Marty McFly and tear a page out of the phone book. That nobody questions why he tore a page of the phone book, because that just seems to be something that everybody did back when phone books were a thing.
There's a wonder there was any phone books left because of all the pages that were being torn out.
Yeah. And what happens if somebody else needs a number that's on that page?
Yes. What if someone needs to find the Brown below Doc Brown? That's a common name.
Yeah.
There's more than one Doc Brown in that town.
Or
I'm sure there's a Brown that someone else wants to know about.
What if somebody needs to find one of the other Sarah Connors?
I know.
Which, I mean...
What if the T-800 needs to execute
the
other Sarah Connor?
Well, he got them all on the same page, which is why there aren't any more Sarah Connors. So...
Sarah Connor. Yes. Sorry, why did she say yes?
I don't know.
Oh, no, she moved out
Yeah,
yesterday.
you want to go like 3 blocks down? the blue house.
She's wearing this pink dress. Can't miss her.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he calls. This youngish guy answers. And he's like, "Oh, is this Steven Reynolds?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, well, who's calling?" Well, I don't know. I'm actually trying to find this Mary Jo Reynolds from Lima, Ohio, and she lived in like Nashville back in like 1985. And you relate to her?
He's
Oh
like,
yeah,
that's my
that's my
mom.
mother.
But she
And
died a couple years ago.
yeah, and yeah, and Bat's like kind of mumbling. Bat's like, it's like, it's like, oh, I can't hear you. It's like, oh, who is this? Your
And he's
father?
like,
It's like,
your
who? I'm Bad
father.
Blake in Houston. I'm your father. And Steve's like, oh, I know. Like, okay, so like she obviously told him that Bad Blake's
Mm-hmm.
his
Mm-hmm.
dad. It's like, oh, well, what do you want? Well, I don't know. I want to hear your voice. And wait, you just said Mary Jo died? It's like, oh yeah, 2 years ago. Yeah, what happened? I want everything happened. I was like, well, I'm sorry to hear. Steven's annoyed. Like he is,
Yeah.
you can tell he wants nothing to
Yeah.
do
He
with
wants
that.
nothing to do with Bad.
He's
Bad.
like, what do
He
you
hasn't
want? It's like,
seen Bad since
I
he
want to
was
see
4
you.
years old. And
She's like, no, I don't think so. It's like, can you think about it? It's like, no, I don't think so. Just take my number. She's like, yeah, I got caller ID. Well, I really would like to talk. She's like, imagine that, and just hangs up. And this now, like, this is tough for him, right? Like,
mm-hmm. Yeah.
he gets drunk.
Yeah. Yeah.
He gets sloppy drunk. Like we see, he wakes up. Robert Duvall is watching him in his tighty whities when he wakes him up,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So, but Robert Duvall comes there. He's like, it's like, oh, he wakes him up and does this. No, Robert Duvall doesn't wake him up. He's in his tighty whities, and the phone call wakes him up, and it's Gene.
Yeah, that's right.
He's like,
He wants mom's phone
hello.
call.
And Buddy's on there, and Buddy's talking about these cars that Bad just sent him as a present.
Yeah.
Like they go real fast.
Yeah.
They go boom.
And Gene's like, thank you for sending him this, but you can't be sending him presents. It'll confuse
He
him.
thinks you're Santa Claus.
Yeah, he thinks you're Santa Claus. It's like, I appreciate it, but you can't keep sending him these presents.
Yeah. So they finish the conversation. He's like, well, do you think you can come out here? She's like, we'll think about it. We'll think about it. And that's when Wayne wakes him up next. Is like the next scene is he wakes him up, and then they go fishing, and they're having a lovely afternoon fishing together.
Yeah.
Right. Bad's like, hand me one of those barley pops. And Bad's like, finally, he's like, you know what? This was a good idea. Thank you. And then he finally says, as they're talking, they're putting out their lines and drinking, beer and just having a casual afternoon fishing as friends do together.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Bad's like, I just sent what might be my best song ever to Tommy. Right? And Wayne's like, what, to record it? And Bad's like, yeah, it's one of those songs you hate to give up. No. And Wayne's like, well, why did he give it up? It's like, well,
because I'm getting paid.
he's paying me really good. He's already
got to get
in the
paid.
Studio recording it. Wayne's like, I hope we didn't butcher it. It's like, no. And this is talking about Bad. Like, again, like he's resentful, but he knows Tommy is legit talent.
Yeah.
Like, no, he can't mess it up. It's the part of this is also he knows how good the song is and how it matches Tommy's. Like, it's that good a song. He can't mess this up. And they talk about, his sons. Like, your boy didn't want to talk to you. And Ben understands, like, no, like I can't blame him. I didn't have a right to call him. And then Wayne's like, well, no, you were wrong 20 years ago. You've been wrong most times since then because you didn't call him. but you weren't wrong calling him when you did. But he's wrong now, not giving you that chance, not you. He's like, no, I went so long. Like, no, it's too little, too late. He's still on the right. Which both can be true, right? You could, totally not blame his son for not wanting to talk.
Yeah.
And you can't blame Bad for honestly making the effort finally to talk. And he's actually he's going at this with a good attitude.
Yeah, he is.
So, but when he's like, no, this time, like, yeah, you were late doing this, but you still, like, you did it. It's over. You changed it. You actually did make that effort to reach out. Like, it's on him now, to whether to accept this, like, olive branch, so to speak, or not. Right? And then finally, like, they continue Bad continues his conversations with Gene. And finally Gene's is like, yeah, well, what I call is like, I've got 4 days off at the end of the month. I thought maybe we should come. But like, I don't know if it's a good idea. And Bad's like, oh no, it's a great idea. Why wouldn't it be a great idea? He loves to hang out with Buddy.
Mm-hmm.
He wants catharsis time.
He tolerates hanging out with Gene.
Maybe that's the new euphemism. They're gonna tolerate their time together. Oh boy. Anyway, so we cut several days later, and they're happy. Their buddy's happy to see Bad. Bad's happy to see Buddy. He's gonna tolerate Gene.
Oh, he's gonna tolerate Gene good. It just sounds wrong.
Oh my.
Yeah, maybe the euphemism needs a little work.
Yes.
But anyway.
Oh my.
So.
And again, they end up having a good visit for a while there.
Have a good visit. There's some emotional catharsis. There's
Buddy falls asleep at the table because they make this nice dinner together, and he falls asleep at the dining room table, right? And then they carry him off to the bed, and and he's just he's a cute forward boy. It's falling asleep, and everything's going
Bad
really,
is being
well.
an excellent father figure to him right now.
He is. He's been excellent. He's been a great host, right? And they decide to take a day to explore downtown Houston. And Bad's telling about the history of Houston. He's proud of his city, right? He's talking about this is where Sam Houston and his boys beat Santa Ana. Texas got its start here, not San Antonio. No, it got its start here in Houston. Like, if it wasn't for that spot right over there, we'd be speaking Mexican today. Right? And then, it's like, okay. And then finally, they get this thing. It's like, oh, I guess there's, and they keep talking, they talk later. It's like, oh, yeah, the post wants to come by, 10:30 tomorrow or later. It's like, how about I just drop you off, pick you up, and then take you up to this really good restaurant for lunch? He's like, what about Buddy? Oh, we'll go downtown, we'll explore the tunnels. So, oh, yeah, there's this whole city underneath. We'll love it. Like, we'll go through, we'll get out at noon, we'll get you and go to lunch. I mean, it sounds like this great idea, right? And, they end up going to this aquarium together, right? The three of them before she heads off, right? And, unfortunately, these tunnels or wherever leads up to like this shopping mall or whatever, right? And there's a saloon.
Yes, there is a bar in a mall.
A bar.
And this mall doesn't look like your typical mall.
No.
This mall actually kind of reminds me of Tyson's Corner.
Yeah.
A little bit. With a little bit of Fair Oaks thrown in there. And I know these are references that are only for like the people in Northern Virginia.
Northern Virginia, yes. Anyway.
But it's kind of, yeah. Your typical mall is more of like a big hallway with all the stores on either side with maybe a couple little...
a few different wings.
A couple little wings that go out to like the food court and whatever. But yeah, this mall is more like a wheel and spoke pattern kind of thing from the looks of it. Where it's more like a bunch of different hallways that all meet in a centralized location.
And so, yeah.
It
and
looks
goes up,
kind of like some airport terminals I've been in.
Yeah, that's a good description. So we go to the bar. He orders a double JD and ginger ale for his little buddy.
Yes, ginger ale for his little buddy. Now,
and
remember earlier, Gene made him promise he was not going to drink in front of Buddy. But he takes Buddy right into this bar.
One thing if they were at lunch and they're eating something right away and there's just like a beer, but no, he brings him to he sits him at the bar.
They're the only ones in there other than the bartender.
Now, the bartender would be like, dude, are you sure you want to do this?
Yeah. And Buddy's got this little backpack. And he doesn't seem like he wants to be at the bar.
No.
So
I don't blame him.
So, but Bad takes Buddy's backpack, puts it on the bar.
It's like, how do we go explore?
It's like, hey, yeah, you go ahead, go explore.
Now, he's, again, not thinking what a 4-year-old might do when he's telling him to explore.
Yeah.
And he's not really paying attention to things as he has his drink, and he doesn't pay attention to the time. And he thinks he's going to see Buddy somewhere else in the restaurant, maybe in the bathroom. Or in the bar, right? In the bathroom. He doesn't see him. And he looks right around the area of the mall, right around the bar, and he doesn't see him too. Now he starts getting frantic. And he's searching everywhere. And now he realizes he has to find like security. Right?
Yeah. He cannot find Buddy anywhere.
And the guy's like, oh, what is he wearing? Like, oh, I can't remember. He's going to have his backpack. And
he's 4 years old. He's about this tall, brown hair.
Okay, how about you stay here?
Buddy.
We'll go looking for him. He's like, no, I gotta go find him. Like, no, we're looking for him. You stay here. But he doesn't listen.
No.
So he's going everywhere.
And then the security guard's like, sir, how much have you had to drink today? And because he's starting to slur a little bit, and he's acting like he may have had a few.
Yep. So this whole sequence of the searching, and then finally, Jean comes there, and she's like, they're looking, and like she's obviously distraught, and she's upset.
And she's like, what happened? And Bad's like, I don't know. Security's looking for him. We were over.
She's trying to calm him down, but she's obviously not calming down for good reason. And then finally, they're waiting just together quietly, and then finally they come back with Buddy.
Yeah,
he's been found.
Security guards come back, and they've got Buddy, and he's reunited with his mother, and they're both very happy to see each other. And Jean is not happy one bit with Bad.
Yep. They get back to Bad's place, and she's upset. She starts packing immediately. He's like, I knew I should listen to that voice in my head not to come. Right? Like, I knew this could potentially happen. Like, I cared about you, but like I needed drinking and all that.
Took him to a bar? Really? And
it's like, look at him, he's frightened. And you can tell like he's frightened, but like it's not like he's angry at Bad or like he's scared of Bad.
He's 4 years old, so
he's 4.
He doesn't quite comprehend what
happened.
Know
how to process everything that happened.
Yeah.
So they get in a cab and they leave, and Bad, Buddy's staring at him as they leave, and
he's like, "At least let me take you to the airport." And she's like, "No,
right?" And then now this hits the point where he realizes he needs to get help.
He needs to clean himself up. He needs to get sober.
So he gets into rehab, and so Wayne takes him to a treatment center, a really nice treatment center that's there in Texas, and people there are really nice to him, right? And then Wayne's there to pick him back up after 28 days.
Yep. Yeah,
Sandra Bullock comes with him.
Yep.
Viggo Mortensen comes with them as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. And then a zombie comes with him. Wait, that's 28 days later.
Right.
But
So, he gets back, to his place and he's cleaning up. And then this part's rough in my opinion.
mm-hmm.
So he's cleaning up and he finds this little Superman t-shirt.
Yep.
That's Buddy's.
Yep. We saw Buddy wearing it earlier.
And like this, it's a hard little scene, to be honest.
Yeah.
And so he tries calling Jean. She doesn't answer. So he just folds it up and just kind of puts it to the side. And we get a little scene where he's just working on his music. And like it could be a scene where like something like that could easily snap him back.
Yeah.
To the bottle.
Yeah, but it doesn't.
It doesn't.
Because he's determined.
Yeah.
He's determined to.
So yeah, he's
determined to
make
make good with Jean and Buddy.
And you can tell, like, his house is looking better, and his appearance is looking better. Looks like he's lost weight, right? And then so he finally decides to show up at Jean's place, and he knocks on the door, this door that she has there, and she finally comes out. It's just her, and it's like, hey. So why are you here? He's like, oh, I thought maybe I might see you.
I'm sober now.
I got clean. I'm sober. I got into rehab and I'm sober now. I thought I might check on you guys, right?
And she's
like,
like,
I'm really happy for you.
Yeah.
I really, honestly, I'm really, really happy that
you cleaned yourself up, that you're sober now.
I should have listened to that voice, and I'm a different person now too.
It is not a good idea for you to come in and see Buddy.
It's like, if you really care about us, like, I really need you not to contact us right now. Right? And you could tell, like, he's hit hard by this. And again, this is something that could easily be a thing that gets him to fall off the wagon.
Yeah.
And I guess this is actually when the scene with the t-shirt comes in, because like he goes back to Houston, and again he's working through different music and playing. I think he has some see him doing different shows at Wayne's, and then you see him clean up and he finds that t-shirt. And he picks up the phone and he wants to call,
but he doesn't. He hangs up.
And like that, I mean it's hard.
Yeah,
it's a hard scene. And it's not one spoken with words. It's spoken through just Jeff Bridges acting.
Yeah.
Right. And so, and that's it. Like, right. Then we cut to like, a time jump. We have 16 months later. And we're at a music pavilion again. Well, it's the same one that was in Phoenix or a different one. Looks like it might be the same one. Right. And, Tommy's there. He's playing on stage, right? And he's doing a good job. The crowd loves him, right? And so you can kind of tell, like, this is where you can kind of tell beyond, like, the small bars earlier in the movie where it's, like, lower budget. Like, they can't make the scope of this crowd seem as grand as some big stars would be. Because, anyway.
But
he's off the back of the stage and his manager's there with him, right? And they're talking, and he's enjoying Tommy's set that Tommy's playing. His manager comes up. He's got a royalty check for him, right? Because it's like, oh yeah, these checks keep getting bigger because that song, The Weary Kind, has become
huge.
Tommy's biggest hit. It's a huge hit, right? And Tommy's playing it as his encore solo, right? He's saying, yeah, my mentor wrote this song, and he talks about it and he plays it. He's listening, and Bad is taking pride that his song's being played. He's taking pride that his protege is playing it well, and
he's taking pride in the size of this check that they just handed him.
That keep coming. These royalty checks keep on coming, right? And and maybe he does end the album coming. All of it's coming through again, right? His life is looking back up, right? And so he walks off and he gets to the back of the stage towards like the staging area, right? His tour buses and his Suburban is still there. Gotta love his Suburban. It's its own character in this movie. I always love this because they had the back window would like roll down.
Yep.
She uses multiple times, like to roll it down. He goes in and gets it, right? Takes out his guitar, takes out some music. I loved how when he has his car accident, one of the first things he wants to know about is how's the guitars through the accident.
Yep.
Right. And apparently, like, he's still driving the same thing. Like, you could tell the car got busted up and when it rolled over multiple times. Of course, it's a 1981 car. It's a lot of steel.
It can handle a couple of rolls.
But it could still, like, and it's not fiberglass, right? So, yeah, he's walking back there and he hears a voice. And it's Gene. And things looking up for her. He's like, oh, yeah, I heard he might be here. He looks at like now she's working for a bigger publisher, right? Or newspaper or periodical. And she's got full press passes and all this. And they have a nice little conversation, right? And he sees that she has a ring on her finger. And it's like, he's a really good guy. And is Bad jealous? No,
Bad. He understands.
Yep. He says, you deserve someone good.
You deserve someone good. And then he hands her the envelope with the check in it. He's like, put this in account for Buddy.
For his 18th birthday.
18th birthday. And she opens the envelope and
she looks at it. She looks at
this like, no, I can't accept this. I cannot take it. It's like, take it. It's, yeah.
This song would not exist if it weren't for you. Right? And so, I mean, so she takes it. Like, again, like, he's had multiple of these checks, and he'll probably get an even bigger one after this.
Yeah.
He can do it. And it's such a great gesture, too. Like, and it's like, well, Buddy's here. Do you want to see him? No, I don't think so.
First, he almost says yes, and he's like, no, I don't think that would be the best thing for him right now.
Yep. Yeah, and maybe in the future they do see each other again. Maybe Buddy remembers, maybe he doesn't.
Yeah.
About this really cool guy that hung out around a little bit when he was 4.
Maybe. But yeah, so then after that, then there's a lake or a river or something right next to where they are.
And these tables are
tables and railings and stuff, and so Bad. And at this point, Bad has stopped going by the name Bad. He goes by his given name,
I'm going by
Otis.
my real name, Otis, again. Like, because she at that first interview, she asked him, "Well, what's your real name?" It's like, "Oh, that won't be revealed until I'm dead. It'll be on my tombstone."
But yeah, after he got clean, after he got sober, then he decided to go back to his given name,
Otis.
Otis Blake. And yeah, so he's like, well, how about an interview? And she's like, that sounds great.
Like, I could use the story, right?
So they go walking over toward the tables over there by the water.
Yep. And then the camera kind of pans out a bit, so you really just get a really nice view of this vista that they would be looking over. Right? Because she offers, like, well, do you want to do it, like, on the bus? Or do you want to do it over here? No, it's like, no, this is such a great view. Let's do it out here, right? So they sit down there. It's there. You don't hear any of their interview.
Nope.
Because The Weary Kind starts playing as the credits start to roll. And that's the story of how he is able to kind of find the back to himself. It's his journey from this guy that thought he was washed up, had nothing left to give. And he was able to find his songwriting skill again.
Yep.
How he was able to take appreciation in his protege and find someone to care about. and how to let go of things,
Mm-hmm.
and seeing that his life is not over, and to appreciate things. And
Yeah.
it just hinges because like Jeff Bridges is fantastic in the role, and the
Yes, he
music we
is.
hear is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's Crazy Heart.
That's Crazy Heart.
Yeah, good movie. I wouldn't call it great because again, it's a very standard story,
Yeah.
but
A good
because
movie, definitely worth
the
watching. Great performances.
for great performances for someone's first time directing a movie, a very good effort.
Mm-hmm.
So much to like about the movie.
Yeah.
It's just a solid movie all around. And then again, like Jeff Bridges just elevates these things, and the music is amazing.
Yeah.
Without the great music, without the great central performance from Bridges, the movie itself would be just
It would be mediocre.
would be more average to below average.
Yeah.
But
it'd be about average.
it becomes a recommended movie because of both of those.
Yeah. Yep.
So
exactly. So yeah, that is Crazy Heart. Anything else you can think of?
I think that's it.
Me too. So, as always, if you enjoy what you're hearing, then go ahead and check us out on our social media. We are on Facebook and Instagram, and Threads is Rob and Tony's Cinematic Adventure. The and is spelled out. Andy is not an ampersand like the name of the podcast. We are also on X or Twitter. That is R&T Cinematic. And then we are also on Letterboxd. So you can check out some reviews that we've done on various movies. Some we've done on the podcast, some we haven't done, some we will do, some we won't do. But anyway, that is Cine Adventure or Cine Adventure, CINE Adventure. And if you'd like, you can also send us an email at robandtonyscinematicadventure@gmail.com. Mm-hmm. Once again, the and is spelled out. A-N-D is not an ampersand like the name of the podcast. But yeah, let us know what did you think of Crazy Heart? Do you think Jeff Bridges deserved the Oscar that he won? I do. I thought he was great in this movie.
I do too.
Do you disagree with us? Do you think somebody else should have won that year? Let us know. What are your thoughts? And yeah, we want to hear from you. But anyway, so go to our social media, give us a like and a follow. Go to your favorite podcast app where you're listening to us. Give us a good rating, a good review. Hit that subscribe button. Comment on our stuff. You know, that's all how we move up in the standings and the recommendations and the search, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because we want to be able to reach as many ears as we can and people who like to listen to us ramble on about movies. Because I know there are plenty of other people out there.
There are plenty of you
that love movies as much as we do. But anyway, so next week, we're going to be taking a little bit of a break for our Oscar series.
We are.
We still have one more movie to do for the Oscar series before we close it out.
Which is yet to be decided.
Yes, it is yet to be decided because we have to see what wins this year at the Oscars. And the Oscars have not happened yet as of the time of this recording. So we got to see. We got to look at the acting categories, figure out which winner we want to do a movie, or the winning movie.
We might be doing Marty Supreme. We might be doing one battle after another. We might be doing Hamnet.
We don't know.
We've already done Sinners and Weapons. So
yeah. So we won't be doing one of those two movies, but we may do
one of those three, or maybe there's a surprise winner in the category, and we go that way.
Maybe. We'll see. But
we got to do something else a little bit different first, away from your usual Oscar fare, right?
So we have had a couple of Hollywood losses recently. So we thought this would be a good place to put in another one of our tribute episodes. And this will be a tribute to James Van Der Beek.
Yes, not Robert Duvall, James Van Der Beek. And not someone I think about necessarily with movies, but there is a movie in particular that came out when
we were in high school,
of high school age, that we thought would be appropriate to do.
Yes. Probably James Van Der Beek's biggest movie.
Yes.
He was more on the TV side with Dawson's Creek.
Yeah, Dawson's Creek, right?
But
But I think this movie hit really well when we were in high school. And I think I think we thought this would be a good movie to do to represent that.
Yes.
Because it's more of a teen-oriented movie, which is not what you think of necessarily for the Oscars.
Yeah. So we're going to be talking about Varsity Blues next week.
Which does have an Oscar winner in Jon Voight.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to doing some Varsity Blues because it's been a while since I've seen it. And
this is one that I have never seen. I've seen bits and pieces of it. Everybody loved it when we were in high school.
Yes, I liked it when I was in high school. I want to see how it holds up now.
I never got a chance
back.
to see it then all the way through. I mean, I caught bits and pieces over the years when it was on TV and stuff.
All right, then. Well,
no more than a few minutes total of the movie.
Interested to see what you think, and I'm also interested to see what I think because it's been a long time.
Yeah. Now I have seen
I'm sure
times I have seen Not Another Teen Movie, which borrows heavily from Varsity Blues.
Varsity Blues would be one of those ones. Yeah. But again, it's a movie of that era, and so again, we could have done a spoof. Not that this this has some serious things to it, but it's not one of those Oscar baiting movies. So it would be a good one to insert where it is.
Yeah. And it's also a very good representation of James Van Der Beek and his acting.
Yes, it
all
is.
That. So join us next time for Varsity Blues.